Okay. This is gonna be my last try today. If it stopped working again on this one, then I'm done for the day because then that means that my signal is just messed up because now I'm like extremely close to it. So if it fails again, then it's something outside of my control. So here we are again for the third time. It is 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. I don't believe I have to work until. Let me see what time I'm scheduled for. I'm gonna find out here. Let's see. So I can see how long I can actually stay on with guys, assuming that this thing doesn't like crash again. Okay, scheduling. Let's take a look. 5. Okay, so I've got an hour. Uh, I guess until I have to go and work. But if nobody hops on, then I'll probably leave a lot sooner than that anyway, and then maybe just go and shoot a regular video, a structured one that will involve a tip as far as food delivery. The idea came to me on Monday, and it has to do with deliveries in certain locations. And so, what I'll probably do is do a video on that and shoot that if this for some reason just goes again. Because for me, 3 strikes and you're out. So if this one falls, then that's it for me. I'm done for the day, and I'll shoot that video, and that will be that for today. But so far, it looks like it's okay. Crossing fingers. Hopefully, the connection will stick. But if it doesn't, then yeah. But in the meantime, let's rock. How is everybody's week going? How did everybody's week go, I should say, because technically the week is over. Is anybody doing anything tonight other than work? I'm just working because I already have plans for late tomorrow night. My buddy is holding a party at his house and I'm going to go to, and all I have to do is bring chips, and because he's going to have like a bar there. They're going to be like serving, I guess it's kind of like a fundraiser style. So you bring and you donate like, I don't know, $2-3, a beer, and then you get a beer and then you hang out, and that's always fun. Usually if they're only $2 or $3, then that's great. I can drink a solid 3 in a row and get a good buzz going. And then I'm even more fun to talk to as I'm walking around. Peter McGowan, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to take 3. This is my third attempt at a live stream today because the first 2 just were not happening for some reason. It wasn't working previously, and now I'm trying it again. This is my third take. We'll see who's like actually still going to watch after me basically having walked out mid conversation twice already. So, like I said, 3 strikes and you're out. If it happens a third time, I'm done for the day, and I would imagine you guys are done watching me, at least maybe for the next few days. but, um, but yeah, I apologize for the earlier ones where literally like just it went in the middle of like talking. I wasn't even finished, and I didn't get to officially end the stream, and it just I feel bad about it. But yes, let's roll, Tina. Thank you. That is true. Technical difficulties do happen to everyone. It's just kind of annoying when it happens 2 times in a row, and you have to and your stream dies 2 times in a row when people are sitting there trying to watch you and engage with you, and then you just walk out. It's kind of like, I don't know, for me, I kind of compare it to like a real conversation. Like say you're like there and you're talking to somebody and in the middle of a conversation, and say they ask you a question or you ask them a question and you're like, oh, give me your opinion on this. And then after you say, hey, give me your opinion on that, you just turn around and walk away. I mean, I kind of that's the analogy I'm making here. It seems similar to me. So that's why I kind of feel, I feel bad about it. But yes, the issue wasn't really something that I was doing. It was just an issue with the signal outside for some reason, because it was working just fine early this week. But for some reason today, it just wasn't working that well in that location, and it just went a couple times in a row. So, but yeah, moving on. Peter McGowan just finished an Uber Eats shift, turning out to be a reasonable week. Right on, right on. And Peter McGowan, let me ask you, how long have you been doing Uber Eats? And let's roll Tina. How you doing over there? What area am I having the pleasure of speaking to you from? Portland, Oregon. Very nice. That's actually my hometown. How about that? I'll be damned. Yeah, I grew up there, born and raised, and then moved here to LA about 9 years ago. Awesome. Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I was watching the game last night against Golden State. They were kicking butt. They had a 17-point lead, and then I don't know. Golden State just came back, and then of course Steph Curry, with his signature 3-pointers that he's so good at sinking. That guy is very, very good. He's like extremely impressive. I've seen him do that in so many different games where he's just sinking them like they're nothing, like it's throwing a beanbag into a full-size swimming pool, that it's that easy. He makes it look that easy, which is nuts. It's not, but he just makes it look that way. It's like, wow, dude. So that is some impressive stuff, but unfortunately, yeah, it's what brought Portland's downfall last night. They should not have lost. They had that game won, and then they came back and beat them just by a few. So they got hard. That's difficult to do. But yeah, then it puts them at a 2-1 lead against Portland. So yeah, I mean, I know the Blazers are far from being like one of the best teams in general, but they've been doing really good this past season. They've got some good players going on the team right now. And yeah, certain years they have it really well put together, and they've got some really talented players, and then they go and they do really, really well. So win, lose, or draw, I'm still going to cheer them on because that's my hometown. Peter McGowan, been going for 10 months. Okay, 10 months. Okay, nice. And Peter McGowan, have you been specifically just doing Uber Eats, or do you do other food delivery services, and or do you also do rideshare like Uber and Lyft, of course, for example? Not many other examples now, are there? Because Sidecar went bye-bye. Okay, let's roll. Tina is from, let me just here, Watsonville, California. Okay, so you're originally from the state that I'm in now. All right. So I'm winning no matter who wins. Yes, technically. But I noticed I'm rooting for Blazers more. Laugh out loud. Nice. Way to go. That's good to hear. Very good to hear. Where is Watsonville, California? I don't even know where that is. I'm going to look that up on my phone. I'm curious where Watsonville, California is. You might tell me before I look it up, but I'm curious like what part of California it is, or like what major city it's close to. Let's take a look. We'll see. If you type it faster, then I look it up. Let's find out. It's a race. I'll race you to see if you can tell me before I find it myself. Watsonville, California, 268 miles away, near Santa Cruz. Okay. Yeah, it just came up on my phone. Can you even see that? No, there's too much glare, huh? You totally can't see that. Okay, now you can kind of see it if I tilt my phone. Okay, yeah. You could kind of see it because I had to tilt my phone. But yeah, I see it here, Watsonville. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, Santa Cruz seems to be the nearest major dealio there. Henry W. Coe State Park. Okay. So yeah, kind of smack dab in the, yeah, almost in like the middle of the state, somewhat. Little bit below the midpoint. But that's cool. So that's where you grew up. And then how long have you been in how long have you been in Portland now? Let's roll, Tina. When did you leave Watsonville? Let's roll, Tina. I'm just doing Lyft at the moment, full time. Okay, cool. Yep. Let's roll, Tina. 1990. Oh, okay. Oh, you've been in Portland since 1990. Okay, cool. So you're basically a Portlander. You're officially a Portlander after 10 plus 9, 29 years, almost 30 years now. You're officially a Portlander. Yeah, definitely. So that's good. Yeah, you should be. You should be more going more towards the Blazers, even though you could go either way. Cool, cool. All right. 1990, except 2012 to 2017, I spent time in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we had somebody else on the stream on, it was either Monday or Tuesday, who was from Phoenix. I believe her name was Melissa, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the last name. I remember I wasn't fully confident about pronouncing her last name because I like to pronounce people's names correctly. Although I know people are understanding. They're like, oh, I get it. How could you know without having heard it? But it's more appealing and sounds better anyway if you do pronounce it correctly, whether you just guessed it right or heard it. It just sounds better for somebody to say her name correctly. But yeah, I believe her name was Melissa. She was on the stream on Tuesday, and I was telling her how I've been to Phoenix numerous times, and it's I can't handle the heat. Like I just have to be in the pool right away when I'm in Phoenix, and as soon as I fly in and I step out of the airport, it's like, oh my god, I have to jump into the pool right away, or I got to run inside to where the AC is right away because it's hardcore. It's it's hardcore here in the summer, but not so much in the spring. At least not lately. It's rained a lot here in LA this year, like a lot, like very surprising. I was like, holy cow, is this freaking LA? It hasn't felt like that. I was like, am I in like am I back home in fucking Portland right now? Because it's been like hella wet this year here in LA. Like it just has not been LA. It's been crazy. Um, okay, so for the last couple years, you've been in okay, you've been in Portland consistently. So you were in Portland since 1990. Took a little 5-year break, and now you're back in P Town for the last couple years. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna assume you were in Phoenix for work. Would be my guess. Work usually is a good reason to move um, to a nice place that you've been at for. Let's see. So you'd been there a good 22 years in Portland before you went to Phoenix, and it's nice there. I mean, you enjoy it there. It's very chill. People there are very laid back. It's one of the few states, I think, only one of the only two states where people still pump your gas for you at the gas station, where they have actual attendants. I believe New Jersey is the only other one. Everywhere else, you pump your own gas, and it's very green. I love how green it is, especially after it rains. How nice and fresh it smells. Um, so yeah, there must be a reason why you would go to a very hot place like that. unless you just like to cook. I don't know. That's my opinion anyway. But Watsonville, never been there. I've been to Santa Cruz. Went to the mystery spot. That's pretty trippy. Very, very trippy. Cool thing to go to. It's one of those things that you have to go to if you're going to go to Santa Cruz. You have to go there, and then you have to see that ship, that old abandoned ship that's been there for like hundreds of years or whatever, however long it's been. Okay, Peter McGowan. I haven't watched your vids in a couple of weeks. Be interested to know what your opinion is on the Uber IPO. Sure. Well, I mean, my first take on it is that as far as the performance, the fact that it really just crashed on the opening day was not a surprise. I was completely expecting that to happen. I was not surprised at all. So pretty much a no-brainer because of the fact that beforehand of releasing, Uber was still touting, well, we're here to admit, we're going to admit that Uber may never be profitable. We're going to try to make it profitable, but it may never be profitable. And they touted that at least a couple times. That, and then of course we had the strike, which I went to and went and supported. And I'm glad that I went. A lot of great energy there. I posted videos with footage, live, and then also like one where I just recorded, where I covered a little bit more of like the intense parts of the actual strike of people like yelling and shouting and things like that. So I expected it. And then, of course, coming into Monday, it basically just continued to nosedive. But apparently the last couple days or so, it has crawled back up a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not sure how soon it will go back up to its opening price of 45. I don't see that happening anytime soon because there's still a lot of doubt as far as owning the stock, like it might not make sense to a lot of people to buy the stock if supposedly they may never be profitable. And if they finally do become profitable, just how profitable, could be not that much. And a big part of that is just the fact that they're dumping so much money into the autonomous cars, which are still at least 10 years away as far as their own department. Could there be self-driving cars before that, before 10 years? Of course. Oh, easily. Especially with, crazy geniuses like Elon Musk around who wants to do robo cars out of the Teslas, That's probably not going to happen next year like he claimed, but I'm sure it will happen eventually. And I can see it beating Uber's because the head of Uber's self-driving technology even stated himself that it's basically still a science experiment. There's even an article that says like if you were to look online, you see the guy states in the article that it's still a science experiment. But they're dumping money into it, they're focused on Uber Eats, of course, still, which now will have a new competitor in Amazon because they bought Deliveroo, which I was talking about in the previous streams that went. So, but they're, they definitely have promise. They have belief in that, in their Uber Eats branch. And they're also, doing, they've got that Uber Freight, and then they've got the flying taxis, and then of course they even jumped into the scooter market with those jump scooters. So how profitable are those? I'm curious. I don't know if the scooters are profitable for them or the air taxis or the freight. I'm not sure. Haven't looked into that specifically, but I know that the majority of the money that they could be giving to drivers to make them happier is going towards the technology, which is still 10 years away as far as their own in-house development goes. So yeah, um, Warren Buffett said he's not going to buy it. I saw that in a headline. Warren Buffett, which is, I mean, who knows stocks better than him? He's not going to buy the Uber IPO, he said. The Uber stock, I guess we'll call it. Now, he's not going to buy it. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It just doesn't make sense at this, to buy it at this time, or the Lyft one. So yeah. Whoa. Oh, it looks like I got to plug in. Give me a second. So now the stream is fine. My Wi-Fi is good, but I got to plug it in. So let me grab my charger thingy, and I will not disappear for half an hour this time. This will be indeed very brief. Okay, so I got my plug. Let's plug this in. Boom. And we're plugged in. We got power. Let there be light, baby. Okay, so, but yeah, that's my opinion on the Uber IPO, Peter. My opinion and my recommendation, if you will, if you even want it, is to don't even bother. And part of it, I will admit, is just from having my own and many other people having a bad taste in their mouth as far as Uber goes anyway. So I kind of don't really want to give them my money, and mathematically I don't see a point in doing it anyway. So yeah, that's basically my take on it, and I'm very proud of everyone who got out there and struck in all the various cities around the world, and it definitely had an impact. It didn't hurt Uber financially, of course, because they have way too much money, but it at least didn't help their first date with the Uber stock, if you will, because that's a big thing. Is you want to make that good first impression. So Uber was trying to make themselves look really good before the debut of the IPO. They wanted to look all fancy, and they failed in that endeavor, unfortunately, because of partially due to the strike. So, yeah, how do you like them apples, Uber? Anywho, let me get caught up with some comments here. So, okay, let's see here. Where did I leave off? So we were talking about my take on the IPO. Okay. Let's roll Tina. I spent a lot of times in the pool and in AC, as you should have, dear. Ugh. Here it gets humid, right? The dry heat was easier on me. Medi-cal. Yeah, medical. Okay. Let's roll Tina. Yup, miss the green. Yeah, I do too. It's one of the things that I miss most. And that's why I try to visit once a year. I'll be going again for the holidays this year. So I'm looking forward to that. Partied at the ship in high school. Okay, nice. That's good. You should have partied on that ship. That must have been pretty cool. Hopefully nobody slipped off and hurt themselves. I don't know anything cool that happened from that party that you'd care to share with the group. There must have been something. Laugh out loud. Yeah, they're so far away. I agree. Peter McGowan. Do you see them acting more responsibly now they have more investors to answer to? Or would you just predict much of the same? Good question. Let's see. Do you see them acting more responsibly? Well, can you elaborate what you mean by that? The Uber acting more responsibly, as far as, are you referring to safety because of passengers getting kidnapped or sexually assaulted or raped, murdered? Are you talking about that responsibly, like them doing more to reduce that, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'd love for you to elaborate on that, by what you mean as far as acting more responsibly, because as far as business-wise, them, cutting driver pay so that they can have a better chance at being profitable, supposedly that as a business is being responsible because they're trying to do something for the overall good of the business, not for everybody, but for the company. So, I see them continuing to do more of that, just doing whatever they can to reach profitability. If it means decreasing pay more, they're going to do that. I can totally see them, taking away all of the incentives, dropping the rates more. I can totally see that. So let's see here. But yeah, they do have much more to answer to. They have a lot more investors to answer to. So they do need to make themselves look good, better. They got to fix their, I would say, their image, because of the bad things that have happened over the course of time while they've been in operation, specifically, safety things and treating their drivers like employees and not wanting to pay them like employees and giving benefits and getting sued time and time and time again. They've been sued, probably more times than a public toilet has seen a butt. So let's roll Tina. The whole market is having issues right now due to the China trade issues. Yep. I think it would be good for me to get some shares, but I'm far from an educated stock buyer. Yeah, I'm no expert on that either, and I'm not going to claim to be. I have my general thoughts about it, And I do invest in the stock market. I have that Robinhood app, and I have shares in several different companies, and I have, made money. I don't have that. I didn't put that much in it because it was my very first time doing stocks ever. Was when I downloaded that Robinhood app and then started purchasing stocks. That was my first foray into the stock market a little over a year ago. And so I have a lot to learn as far as that goes myself. Mm, Peter McGowan, I understand what you mean about the bad taste. Yep. Incredibly frustrating sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Drivers Guild, what's up, man? Drivers Guild, I am from Oregon too. Heck yeah. Oregon peeps in the house. Oregon peeps in the house. Let's rock. Let's smoke some of that good green Portland weed. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I suppose it's kind of cool. I'm not like a big smoker myself, but I've been known to puff from time to time, but usually it's around certain friends who offer it to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm down. I like beer more though. I'm more of like a beer guy. So love to get that buzz. Okay. Responsibly, of course. No overly intoxicated shenanigans. Hopefully, I'd like to think I've grown out of that phase. Okay. Let's roll Tina. Just the crazy bonfires that we'd make while we drank our Barties and Bartles and James Coolers. Peter McGowan, safety and overall culture. Okay. More responsible source safety. Okay, I figured that's what you meant. I've heard a lot about the previous CEO creating a terrible culture, yeah, and not really caring about drivers or passengers. Yeah, I mean, especially since Mr. Kalanick went the extra mile to even obtain the medical records of a girl who had been raped. I don't know if you guys were aware of that, but apparently he tampered. He went so far as to use his influence and power and money to tamper with the medical records of a girl who had been raped on an Uber ride in the interest of simply protecting the company's image, even though it's extremely immoral and wasn't with the intention of helping the girl who had been raped. That was all about him trying to protect Uber, just going that extra unethical mile in tampering with hospital records. Come on. Yeah. I mean, that and, some other stuff as far as like behavior at the workplace and sexual harassment, things like that. Those are things that led to him stepping down. But so will Uber do more about safety? I know Lyft is, not to like jump off to another company, but they're both, very similar. They're both doing, basically the same thing, and both of their stocks have been struggling. Now, Lyft is supposedly doing daily checks now. I did a video on this where I refer to an article that says they're going to be doing more for the safety of the passengers. So they're going to be doing more consistent checks on active drivers. Because before, they would just do like a background check on a driver before activating them. And now they're going to be checking everybody, currently on the platform, weekly, possibly even daily. I read in the article something about even like daily checks. So if there's something fresh that happens where they get, convicted in a court of law, that will come up. It won't cover, probably anything on social media or Google, as we learned from that guy who was an ex-Somali warlord becoming an Uber driver for the last year and a half, despite his history. He was still hired on simply because those records were not done formally in a court of law. It was just something that you could Google and you could see based on an expose done by CNN a number of years ago, you could find out about what he had done. But Lyft and Uber clearly did not check that, and they don't. As far as now, will that change? I don't know. Will they start checking Google? Will they start checking social media before bringing a driver on from here on? I really don't know. I really don't know. If they do, I'm sure they'll announce that. But at the time being, they don't check that, and that can be, yeah, kind of dangerous. It's all about just the records that are formally declared in a court of law. So as far as Uber, now going back to Uber, will they do something similar to what Lyft is doing? Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Um, their main prerogative, though, clearly, the thing is, even with a new CEO, because you could see this in an interview where Dara is being interviewed by someone in regards to the IPO and like, hey, what about this strike and drivers not being happy? And he says something along the lines of, oh, yeah, when you have, millions of drivers, it's going to work out for some and it's not going to work out for others. So, I mean, him just saying that clearly communicates that he doesn't care about the drivers. So the new CEO doesn't care about the drivers. So do I think Uber will act more responsible, as in trying to take better care of the drivers or make the drivers happy? I think that interview pretty much answered that question. So that would be my answer to that. As far as them acting more responsible as far as overall culture, I don't think so. I think they're just going to act in a way that leads them towards profitability so that the numbers make the investors happy. That's what they're going to be acting more towards. Not necessarily safety of people, because I mean, yeah, they do put the passenger first, but really they just care about, having the passenger continue to order Uber rides over and over and over again and bringing in revenue. Not so much the safety. At least, the last CEO clearly didn't. The current CEO, I don't know. How much does he care about the safety of the Uber drivers? Or I'm sorry, the Uber passengers, because yeah, we know he doesn't give a shit about the drivers. I guess we'll see. I'd like to hope that he does something more for the safety, because I mean, obviously, you can't keep having pastors getting kidnapped and assaulted and things like that, and expect people to be happy continuing to use the service. Something has to change there. So I would like to think that he will do something in regards to that, though I can't say for sure, because at the end of the day, his main prerogative, especially now that there's a stock, is just making the money handlers happy. Let's roll Tina. Laugh out loud. Weed being legal here. Yeah, definitely requires having Febreze on hand. I know, right? Yeah. Because I mean, even when they're not smoking it in your car, because they're not supposed to, obviously. I mean, I've had to tell people to put their cigarette or joint out before, because just the audacity of people, they'll just start, smoking in your car without even asking. It's just, it's hella rude. But yeah, I had a passenger once that I didn't see them bring it into the car, and I'm looking in my rearview mirror, just chatting away, because I usually chat with my customers, and I notice, the one who was not talking bring something up to his lip. Wait, the hell are you doing? There's no smoking in this car. What are you doing? Why did you light that up? He's like, oh, no, I've had this the whole time. I just brought this into the car with me. Oh, thanks for letting me know, or asking beforehand, coming into, my car. It's not your car. How nice of you to ask before bringing a joint into somebody else's car, if that's, if that's okay with them, since it's their car. I mean, how like crazy, for how illogical that notion, since you're, since you're paying for the ride, of course, right? Oh, who cares? I'm just, either your mentality is that you're like, oh, I can do it because I'm paying for the ride. No, you're just renting the vehicle for, a brief, 10, 20 minutes or whatever, just like you would with a rental car. You're not supposed to smoke in a rental car and return the rental car all smoky because other people are going to be renting that car and using it. Same thing with an Uber driver's car. Other people are going to be riding in that and might not, have the same love and appreciation for weed like you do, and so you can't be doing that, but some people are just like in party mode and they're like, yeah, and then it's just like, their buddy orders the ride and there's like maybe two or three of them. They come on in, they're all in the moment, in the zone of having a good time. All right, come on in, and just they're just in their little cloud, their little bubble of having a good time. And so that could be another reason of why they don't even think, they're not even conscious of the fact that they're in somebody's car that is reused by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people. They're just focused on having a good time and staying high. But yeah, Febreze definitely helps with that. And after a ride like that, hopefully you catch it right away like I did, and roll down the windows all the way and just drive fast and Febreze, absolutely. Peter Gowan, I saw you posted about Amazon versus Uber Eats. Amazon aren't in the food delivery business over here yet. Yeah, I mean they technically are. With Amazon Prime delivery, like people who are registered with Amazon Flex. I do Amazon Flex from time to time, but I just do packages. And so there are Amazon Flex drivers who also do food. And that's basically like from Amazon, Amazon Prime. I believe it's called Amazon Prime or Amazon Restaurants. And there's drivers that deliver food because I've had the service delivered to me. Like last year when I broke my ankle, my ex-girlfriend ordered a meal for me, her living, a good 75 miles away, but she ordered it and, put my address and had the guy bring it here and then sent me like a copy of the receipt and said, oh, here's the phone number, whatever, in case, they can't find you, they may need to call you. It should arrive at about this time. And that was an Amazon food delivery person, which apparently is not easy to get into. It's not that big yet, but it does exist. Now, I mentioned the reason why I titled my two failed streams earlier, Amazon versus Uber Eats, was because I was talking about how Amazon is investing $575 million into a company called Deliveroo, which is based out of London. And they are spread from Great Britain to countries like France, Australia, and there was at least one other, I remember. Kuwait is another one. So they Amazon just gave them, invested $575 million in them. And so I'm assuming their plan is to bring that here into the States, because right now that Deliveroo company does not exist here in the States, but it's been there in Europe since 2013 for a good 6 years. And they are the go-to company. They are pretty much the leaders as far as that type of business goes in their area right now. And so Amazon is basically taking a shot at Uber Eats. And so that's where the title comes from, is they're looking to compete with Uber Eats with this new acquirement of theirs, or this new company, Deliveroo, that they're investing in, so that they can give Uber Eats a run for their money, which is funny in a way, because Uber is looking for ways to make more profit and to bring their Uber Eats division higher and stronger. And the issue is that them wanting to be the Amazon of transportation, and then now Amazon, the company that they're trying to like say, oh, we're like them, we want to be like them, their idol is looking to bring them down as far as food delivery goes. So yeah, they are actually technically in the food delivery business now, and are going to be even bigger in the food delivery business soon, now with that acquirement. So yeah, they're looking to with Uber Eats. which isn't good for them because they're just, trying to turn that profit, really trying to turn that profit. So, um, yeah. Drivers Guild, are you, um, do you drive for Uber? Do you drive for Lyft? Do you do delivery? What do you do, Drivers Guild? If you're still there. Because Peter McGowan does Uber Eats, and Let's Roll Tina is a full-time Lyft driver. So what about you, Drivers Guild, if you're still there? By the way, if you haven't yet, and you've been on the stream for a little bit, please give me some of these. Hit those thumbs to like the stream. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so, as I am uploading content or streaming live content 2 or 3 times a week, so that you're getting the notifications, so you don't miss anything, any new tip video or news video that I do. Subscribe and ring that bell, and that way you'll also get notified immediately when I'm doing a live stream. You'll get a notifications that you can come and hop on and join the party. Okay, it's possible Drivers Guild is no longer here because I'm not seeing a response from him, which is okay. Cool. Last I heard, Amazon and Uber Eats were both bidding to buy a chunk of Deliveroo. Has Amazon now confirmed them? Yeah, I mean, according to the article that I had pulled up earlier, yeah, it's pretty much it's a done deal. I'll see if I can pull it up again on my phone. I'll read you part of it, because I read most of it in the earlier streams, but this is a new crowd, so because everybody else ditched me since my since my other ones didn't do too well. They're like, kind of discouraging. So yeah, but Amazon, the e-commerce giant, said on Friday that it would lead a $575 million investment in Deliveroo, becoming one of the London-based startup's biggest backers. So yeah, this is something that will be happening. Yeah, Deliveroo now with that has now raised $1.53 billion. So yeah, this is something that has been done. Yeah, they began as just restaurant delivery, serving 80,000 establishments, but then they also set up their own standalone kitchens, which is an increasingly popular business model. So this company's going places. So Amazon, made a good decision, I would say, in my opinion, as far as buying this one. It offers Amazon another path into restaurant delivery after it gave up its own such service in Britain in December because it just wasn't able to compete with them. And that's a service that currently runs in several cities here in the U.S. It was available, it's available to Amazon Prime subscribers in parts of London, but it didn't make that much of a dent in the face of competition from Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and a company called Just Eat out there. So yeah, it is official. With that new capital, Deliveroo plans to hire more programmers and offer more incentives to restaurants and couriers. So that's good. So basically what's happening is Deliveroo is going to be doing more for the drivers. So that's, the way it should be. With the extra money that they have, they're going to be spending it, part of it, on programmers, I guess, to make the service even better, more efficient, more reliable, I suppose, and offer more incentives to restaurants so that they can expand more, which makes sense. That's the whole business side of it, is, growing and then having new restaurants hop on board, and current restaurants giving them more of a reason to stay on, and then also for the drivers so that they have a reason to do the job, and maybe even get more drivers as they are expanding. So very good to hear that. Very good to hear that. um, yeah. Yeah, and Uber Eats being in other countries, also in some places in Latin America, that also has forced Uber itself to spend more on Uber Eats to increase its market position internationally as well. So they've been already beefing up on their Uber Eats service, and now they're going to have to beef up even more, I suppose, since Amazon has tossed a new um, wrench into their plan, so to speak. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, anywho, it's almost about time where I need to log on. So I think I'm gonna hop off this bad boy, but I will be going live again, um, possibly this weekend. I'm not sure, but definitely I'll be going live again this upcoming week, either Monday or Tuesday. And I'm supposed to be, and I'll be putting together a new video sometime this weekend. I'll be shooting a new video and uploading that either this weekend or early next week as well. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys either live, or you'll see me in just a regular video sometime in the next few days. You guys be safe out there. Let's roll Tina. If you're going to be driving Lyft this weekend, which I'm sure you are, because you said you do it full time, drive safe, be safe, and remember not to let people take advantage of you. Don't take any stupid crap. Don't go through drive-throughs unless they want to offer you 10, 20 bucks cash to make it worth your while. Peter McGowan, rock on with Uber Eats this weekend if you're going to be doing that this weekend. Drive safe. Be nice to the restaurant workers, of course. Get that money. And Drivers Guild, if you are also a driver, I'm going to assume you are, with your name being that, be safe as well. Thank you for stopping by. Peter McGowan, Let's Roll Tina, Drivers Guild. I believe there was another one. Let me take a look here. Maybe that was it for this one. But yeah, all of you, thank you for stopping by, and rock on this weekend. And don't do cocaine, just smoke some weed.